Hey, what is going on? Happy Friday. Happy early St. Patrick's Day. It's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate, 12 noon, every single Friday, without fail, without missing any. We come to you to help you mastermind, to grow your real estate business, to better understand what to do to grow your real estate business. Or maybe what we're talking about today is your first 90 days. How do you get to closing deals in your first 90 days? I've seen it done before. Completely possible. But it's not going to happen automatically. So we're going to talk about the things it is that you need to consciously be doing to get deals closed in the first 90 days. So I'm really excited to bring today's episode to you. I'm always excited about talking about making money. So that's what we're covering today on this week's episode of State of Real Estate. Stick with us. We've got a great show for you today. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to this week's episode of State of Real Estate, 12 noon. Every Friday, every week. It's my favorite hour of the week. It's where we come together to mastermind, to grow your real estate business. Man, I'm looking at myself in the video here, and I'm looking pretty sunburned. I'm looking like a tomato today. We were out yesterday doing some pretty cool things. You're going to see that on the commercial break today, so make sure you stick around for that because we got something pretty exciting to show you. If you have not seen it already, it'll explain the red on my face. God, I don't know if this is going to be distracting this whole time, be looking like a tomato. But anyways, let's talk about what it is that you need to be doing in your first 90 days to make money, to close deals. And that's why we want to close deals, because we're not going to make money any other ways. That's how you make money in real estate. And that's what's important. That's always your number one priority, is closing deals. It's not making sure your business card looks perfect. It's not making sure that your website is a cool color scheme. It's not making sure that your logo is perfect. No, it's about closing deals. Everything else is secondary to closing deals. That's your number one job. That's your number one priority, is closing deals. Now, I'm not saying that you need to come in here and, be a hard hammer, heavy-duty closer saying, oh, buy this house now, otherwise I'm going to do something crazy. You need to buy this house now. Stop wasting time. No, that's not what it's about. That's not what real estate is about. And real estate, when it's done correctly, is very fun. But yeah, just like you don't expect to go out there and be yelling at somebody, hey, look, you need to buy this house right now. I'm sick of showing you houses, buy a house. No, that's not going to work even if you're a used car salesman. I'm sick of showing you cars, buy this car. No. It's about building relationships with your clients. But now, the issue that a lot of agents run into, well, number one, that it's almost like they're scared to go find a client, or they think they're not ready yet to go find a client. Look, when you've got a real estate license, the Florida Real Estate Commission, the government says it's okay for you to go practice real estate once you're active with a broker. Get your license, activate with a broker. You could go make money out there now. It's legal. It's okay. You don't have to worry about doing something illegal, because it's completely legal as long as you've got a license and you're registered with a broker. That shouldn't be holding you back. You might say, well, I don't really know what to do. I don't know what I should do. Go figure it out. Go learn. At the very least, get out there and start working with clients. We're going to be reverse engineering this whole first 90 days, because a lot of agents, once they get their license and once they're activated, looking back, it almost looks like, then they might notice this right when from the get-go. They might notice this right from the get-go when they're doing this. They might feel like they're stalling. Or when they're looking in hindsight, they'll definitely look like, wow, I was definitely stalling. I was definitely not ready to make money. I didn't want to make money. So that's really your first obstacle it is that you have to overcome, is you have to understand that the way it is that you make a living working in real estate is closing deals, is selling houses. And we're going to focus kind of on the buyer side of this, because the buyers are ultimately, if you're looking to get some quick cash. We're going to talk about how you're going to be picking up listings to set yourself up after the 90 days, because we're not just focusing on just these 90 days. No, we want to talk about everything it is that you should be doing, not only to close deals in 90 days, but also set yourself up so you keep closing deals after those 90 days. But it all comes down to establishing a pipeline. And again, let's reverse engineer this a little bit. So 90 days sounds like a lot of time. You might get your real estate license and say, well, of course I'll sell a home in 90 days. But maybe you'll have a property under contract in 90 days if you're being ambitious about it. But you might not have a deal actually closed in the first 90 days. So we're going to talk about not just getting a property under contract, because you don't get paid for having a property under contract. You get paid when a deal closes. When it's signed off at the closing table, when the deed is transferred over, that's when you're getting paid. So that's what we need to get to. And now, how long does that process take to go from having something under contract to closing? And this is probably what's most out of our hands in the sale process, is going from contract to closing. We could influence that, absolutely. You could absolutely influence that, maybe get it to work a little bit smoother, especially be a little preemptive with some of this stuff. But you might be looking at 60 days. Maybe in a shorter scenario, maybe pushing that down to 30 days, but sometimes it's even longer, maybe ending up being 90 days to take to go from contract to closing. And if it does take 90 days, that means you need a property under contract on day one to get it done with the first 90 days. Now, 90 days, again, that's a little bit longer than it typically takes. Usually we'll figure about 60 days. But what that means, if it takes 60 days, and if it happens quicker, perfect, that means you're getting paid quicker. But we're going to assume it's going to take 60 days now to go from being under contract to actually closing on the property. So what does that leave us with? That leaves us with 30 days to get a property under contract. Yeah, that leaves us with 30 days to get a property under contract. Not 30 days to find a client, 30 days to get that client under contract. And you might say, well, John, so I've got to get them sold on a house within 30 days. What if they're not ready to buy yet? Then that's not the person that's going to be under contract within the 30 days. That's still a good person that probably will buy in the next 120, the next 180, within this year. And I'm not saying to disown them, to say, oh, no, I don't want to deal with you because you're not ready to buy right now. No, maintain that relationship and work through that. Some clients are going to take longer than others. What we're focusing on today to get deals closed in your first 90 days is filling your pipeline with the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit are the people that are ready to buy right now, that have been waiting to purchase, that have already maybe partially through the sales process or whatever the case may be. They're highly motivated and they need to purchase now. Now, what about those clients that are not ready to purchase right now? Again, do we ignore them? Absolutely not. We're not throwing them to the side and saying, oh, no, you're not important because you're not ready to buy now. Absolutely not. They're still important, but not as important as the people that are looking to buy right now. So what this comes down to is filling your pipeline and having a full pipeline of clients, of having people that are looking to purchase a home. And not just one, not just two, not just three, not just four, not just five. As many people as it is as you need. And you're probably going to have some more trial and error when you're first getting started out in your first license. You got to keep working through it. You're under the legal capacity to practice real estate in the state of Florida once you're licensed and you're active with a broker. So go out there and put that to use. You'll have a couple speed bumps along the way. And pair yourself with a good broker, so that way when you have questions, you don't know something going on or you don't know what that logical next step is, that's where you can contact your broker and say, hey, look, I've got this deal I'm trying to close here. I don't know what to do here. What should I do? Oh, I should do that? Okay, cool. Do that. Now you're back on track to getting the closing. That's as easy as it is. You know, some of the best learning it is that I've done has actually been by experience, through trial and error. Now, it's not the funnest way to learn. It's probably the most stressful way to learn. But, you know, sometimes that is the way that it is that we have to learn, because you can't predict for every outcome. You can't figure every possible way that a deal could possibly play out or roll out or whatever that may be. So you have to understand that there's going to be some speed bumps. There's going to be some obstacles, especially when you're first starting out. The more experienced it is that you become, the better it is that you're going to be able at handling these situations, and it's going to be smoother. It won't be as stressful. But when you first start out, it will be. So you should feel uncomfortable. Whenever it is that you're feeling uncomfortable, that means you're in a period of growth. Because you get your real estate license, you're excited, you passed your exam, you've gone and joined a broker, you've joined the Association of Realtors, you're ready to go out there and make some money, but you're now maybe feeling a little uncomfortable. Maybe calling somebody it is that you've talked to, and you're saying, well, what if they ask this? What if they ask that? What if they ask this? look, don't worry so much about what it is that they're going to ask. If they don't have an answer, still to this day, if somebody asks me a question that I don't have an answer to, hey, that's a great question. I'm not too sure exactly what the exact right answer is, but I'll definitely find out for you. Let me write that down, and I'm going to find that out, and I'll get back to you. But on another note, blah, 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 and you just continue on to their conversation with something else. So you address that question it is. You make that competent answer that, hey, that is a great question, that you understand the question, but you say, hey, I don't have the exact right answer. So maybe they think you do have an answer, but it's not the exact right answer. And so you give them that information. I'd like to find that out for you. Let me write that down. And by the way, also, blah, 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 blah. Now we're talking about something else. So that's how you handle those questions when you get them like that for things it is that you don't know. Hey, that's a great question. I don't have the exact right answer for that, but let me write that down because I want to find this out, and I will get back to you on that answer. Oh, and by the way, also blah, 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 and now we've changed the topic to whatever else it is that we're talking about. Maybe you're showing a home. They ask you, well, what type of, let's try to figure out a question maybe we wouldn't know the answer to. Maybe they say, oh, well, do you know if my pre-approval is still good? That's a great question. I don't have the exact right answer for you, but let me write that down. I'm going to talk to one of my lender friends, and I'll find out that exact right answer for you. Oh, and also, if we're talking about making an offer on the property, yeah, we'll definitely want that pre-approval there, but even if we don't have it, blah, 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 blah. And, see how we're just now rolling in the things it is that we do know that we could talk about. And that's how you establish that confidence in your professionalism. People will hear you say these things. They'll say, wow, this person knows what it is that they're talking about. And they're a straight shooter. When they don't know something, they'll tell me it is that they don't know something. But on top of that, they go above and beyond because they're going to go try to find out that information it is that I did ask. So it's super important to keep that all in mind because that will help ensure that you are not losing clients because you don't know things. And again, that's completely normal. You learn so much information in the pre-licensing course. You'll be studying so much information for your exams. When you go join your brokerage, they'll give you all kinds of trainings. When you join the Association of Realtors, you go through all kinds of trainings. You take in so much information, but it's still not enough. Because again, you can't predict for every outcome. There's going to be these particular scenarios, and you do want to surround yourself with the right people. So that way, when they have a loan question, you've got a mortgage loan originator you could talk to and say, hey, look, they had this question. I'm not too sure about that. Do you have an answer for me on this? Or maybe they're asking something about an inspection or how the inspection process works or something like that. It's like, oh, gee, that's a great question. Let me talk to one of my inspector friends so we can try to get you that exact right answer to that question because I'm not sure what I thinking is exactly right. So let me talk to the expert in inspections. And they'll see that you're surrounding yourself with the right people as well. So that's a big part of it. I want to get more down into exact details of what you should be doing in the first 30 days to try to get properties under contract. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106 or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate, where we're talking about closing deals in your first 90 days so you're getting paid in your first 90 days. And look, let's talk about a tip here. You could start lining up business before you have your license. So this is a goldmine tip to start getting yourself hitting the ground running as soon as you have your license. And you might ask, well, how do I, line up business if I don't have a license yet? You simply say, hey, look, I'm getting my real estate license. I've got my exam scheduled soon. Maybe don't tell them the exact date just in case it takes you a couple times to pass the exam. They'll never find out. But you just say, hey, look, I've got to get a couple things in order. I'm getting my real estate license. Should have it within the next month or so. But I know you guys are looking to buy, so don't buy anything yet. Don't talk to any realtors because I'll take real good care of you guys. And, since you're going to be some of my first clients, I'll make sure we get you a really good deal as well. Something like that is worth its weight in gold to get that obligation from your friends and family. And really, to get that obligation, you shouldn't just say, hey, wait for me. You say, will you wait for me? And then if they don't wait for you, you're just like, what happened? You didn't wait for me. You said you'd wait for me. So if you get them to wait for you, if you ask them to wait to you and they commit, say, yeah, I'll wait for you. Now, they still might go run off with some other real estate agent. Maybe they just wanted to buy sooner. Maybe you took too long to get your real estate license. Maybe you waited too long. Whatever the case may be, that's less likely to happen if you line up business ahead of time. Because, look, if you're trying to get deals closed in the first 90 days, now if you're working with a cash buyer, that might be a lot quicker than this, and that would be easier to go. But not everyone buys cash. Most people are going to be buying with a mortgage. And the people that are buying cash are typically investors that are maybe buying houses $100,000, $150,000, maybe $200,000 at the high end. Dollar amounts of homes higher than that. Not to say that there aren't cash buyers out there, but there are. But a majority, as you go higher in price, are going to be taking out a loan, taking out a mortgage to purchase the home. And when that mortgaging process, yes, it does make it possible for people to buy more expensive homes, but that takes a while with all the regulations and red tape and so on and so forth, especially if you're dealing with a mortgage lender that kind of drags their feet in this whole process. So again, for the higher price homes, expect, maybe 60 days. It does happen quicker than that, even with financing, especially with a cash buyer can happen quicker than that, but expect 60 days. And you might want to be conservative and think 90 days. And that's going to really push us on the ends here. If it's going to take almost 90 days to go from contract to closing, usually doesn't take that long. But if it does, we've got to get a property under contract on day one. So you might be thinking, okay, you've got your real estate license. You went and joined the broker. Now you've got to go through the brokerage's training. And yes, your broker might require you to do some sort of trainings before they'll unleash you to the public. Try to get through those as quickly as possible. Have the conversation with your broker. Hey, what is the minimal that I have to do to get out there and actually start working with clients? Maybe you'll find a broker, because there's brokers out there that will let you train before you're even licensed. They'll let you come in and attend their trainings before you're even licensed, so that way you could hit the ground running as soon as you have your license. Because on day one, if you want to close deals right away and start making money right away, it's completely possible, but you've got to hit the ground running. Ideally, you have clients already lined up. Ideally, you've already done the trainings with your brokers that are the required training, so you can go out there right away and just start showing properties, because to show properties, you do need a real estate license, and so on and so forth. So you got to, like I said, make sure you're getting all of your ducks in a row. Now, notice here, I'm not talking about, a business card or getting a headshot. These are all things that is absolutely that you want to do, but that shouldn't be your top priority. Your top priority needs to be finding business, finding clients, filling your pipeline with clients, because that's what's going to get you paid. That's what's going to result in a closing, not your headshot. That might help. Having a picture of yourself that'll be in your emails, that'll be on your business cards, and so on and so forth, that'll absolutely help. But it's not the number one priority. Number one priority, finding clients, filling your pipeline, so that way you can start showing properties. Because your headshot isn't going to get you paid. You're an actor. If you got a headshot, and you're still not going to get any money until you've actually got a deal, until you've actually auditioned. These are your auditions when you're showing clients properties. You're auditioning yourself, so they'll want to use you, and you're also auditioning the different properties it is. So that headshot, that might help, but it's not 100% necessary. Get it done because that'll make you look more professional and help them remember your face. It's good to have on your business cards. It's good to have in your email signature. But number one priority needs to be finding business. Don't spend time looking around trying to find the perfect headshot photographer. Look, if you need to get this done cheaply and easily, boom, right there. Just selfie shot. Now you've got a picture of yourself. Yeah, it's not perfect. Maybe don't get 1,000 of those business cards printed up, but that'll take minutes to get done versus taking hours on end trying to get something done. And it is important to have a professional looking headshot because a selfie camera phone, as great as these cameras are, they're not going to give you the same, sometimes you might kind of do your little selfie thing and be like, and it's not a very attractive looking shot of you. And that's the benefit of having a professional photographer, so they can make you look professional. But again, that's not number one on your priority list. Number one on the priority list, if you want to close deals in your first 90 days. If you don't want to make any money, yeah, go play around with taking headshots and getting business cards made and tweaking your website and writing your biography and all this other stuff. Yeah, go do those things if you don't want to make money in 90 days. If you want to get right down to business and right down to making money right away, you need to be finding clients. And not just finding these clients, but finding clients and then finding the low-hanging fruit. Because the low-hanging fruit are the ones that want to see properties right now, that want to get a property right now, that need to move, that need to buy, that need to sell, that need to make things happen right now. That's who you need to be targeting. That's who you need to be trying to find out and figure out if the people it is that you're bringing in are ready right now. Taking that low-hanging fruit first, getting what's at the bottom of the tree, makes more sense than trying to climb to the top of the tree. Because look, so imagine this as like some sort of tree. And at the bottom of the tree, we have our low-hanging fruit. This is where this saying kind of comes from. There's this low-hanging fruit at the bottom of the tree. And if you're trying to just walk up and pick the low-hanging fruit, you could easily, let's say it's an apple tree, you walk up, grab an apple, you could go eat the apple. Or we're in Florida, so let's say you're going to go grab an orange off the orange tree, and then there you go, you've got your orange. That's what you're getting paid for, is picking this fruit. But let's say you see, oh, well, look at that fruit way up at the top there. That fruit is it's a lot bigger than this fruit. This fruit on the bottom, doesn't look the most attractive fruit. Yeah, I could probably still eat it. But, that fruit up at the top there, and you start climbing the tree. And what's going to happen is you'll fall. Now, ideally with the low-hanging fruit, you can just reach up and grab it, but you've got to get around the right trees. If you've got trees that are higher up where you can't reach them, if you're climbing the tree partially, every time you're having to climb higher and higher, you have more chances it is that you're going to fall, that a deal's going to fall through, that you'll have to restart and reset to try to grab that fruit again. So to take this all out of the metaphorical and take this back into just, hey, simple, what do you need to do when you have your real estate license? Finding clients. Whether you're knocking on doors, whether you're making phone calls, whether you're hanging out at public places and striking up conversations with people. These are all ways to find clients. And yeah, these will probably make you uncomfortable, especially if you've never done those before. But remember, when you're feeling uncomfortable, that's because you're in a period of transition. Look, if you like what it is that you're doing right now and you don't want to change anything, you wouldn't be starting a real estate career. But when you're wanting to change from what it is that you know into this unknown, to things it is that you don't know, you'll feel a little uncomfortable. And once you start to adapt and once you start to know real estate and know what it is you need to know and understand the sales process, you'll start getting more comfortable. And as you're growing your business, that'll make you a little bit more uncomfortable again. But whenever it is that you're feeling uncomfortable about doing something, it's probably because it's new. And it's new because you're trying to grow your business. You're trying to change your life. You're trying to make some sort of change. So you'll feel a little bit uncomfortable. And that's completely natural. That's completely normal. That's completely okay. So, like I said, we need to line up clients within our first 30 days and get a property under contract in the first 30 days. Now, the 90 days is our goal. That's what we want to shoot for. That's what we want to strive for. Okay, by 90 days, I want to have business ready to go. I want to have deals closed and future business built up. So even as you start to kind of collect these contacts, or these leads, whatever it is that we want to call them, depending on how we're classifying these here. We might call them a contact, we might call them a lead. As we collect these people that are interested in buying and selling houses, we need to be qualifying these people, asking them questions, and really the big major question, how soon do you need to purchase? Not how soon do you want to purchase, but how soon do you need to purchase? And you might even want to follow that up with, okay, well, how soon do you want to purchase, and how soon do you need to purchase? Maybe they want to get in there a little bit sooner, but they've got some time if they don't. So that need answer, how soon do you need to find a home it is that you like, that's what's more important. How soon it is do you need to move, that's what's ultimately most important. Finding out, okay, this is the deadline. If there's somebody who just moved here out of state and they're living in a hotel right now, as soon as possible. I need a property yesterday. Those are your low-hanging fruits. Those are the people that are the easiest clients to close. Now, you'll come across people that aren't in that situation. It's almost like you're striking gold when you find the people that, hey, I need a house yesterday. Oh, hot dog. Okay, let's go look at some houses. Let's go find you a home. Let's get that under contract. Those are the easy clients. The clients that people will say are more difficult, I don't think they're more difficult. They just take longer. They're just not ready yet. And it requires a little bit more on our part. So yeah, maybe it is a little bit more difficult, we could say, because it requires more effort on our part to maintain the relationship. But look, all of your clients, past, current, and future, you should constantly be maintaining your relationships because you're building for the tomorrow. You're building for the next 5 to 7 years on average when they sell another home. That's when you're needing to still have them remember who it is that you are and know that you do real estate and make sure that they're going to use you in real estate and collecting the referrals and so on and so forth. So you're always constantly maintaining your relationships with all of your clients, and there's a lot of ways to do this. Again, this isn't the most important for day one, but maybe having an email database, maybe having a call list of every for past clients, people you've worked with before, maybe calling them once a month or once a quarter. For people it is that you're trying to close right now that are current deals, you're maybe calling them maybe every day or maybe every other day. And for the people that are future business that are not ready yet, but they're going to be ready soon, you're maybe calling them once a week. So notice how we've structured that out and we've laid that out. And this is all stuff that you won't necessarily know right away unless it is that you've trained on these things. That's why we do these episodes every Friday, to make sure you know what it is that you don't know. So, like I said, you want to, for past clients, people you've already worked with, you probably don't have any more of these if you're brand new to real estate, but those you want to be contacting probably about once a month, maybe once a quarter at the very least, through the phone. On top of that, emails, weekly, or you figure out all these things. The phone calls are super easy though because they don't require any sort of setup. The clients that you're working with right now, that you're trying to close right now, that you've maybe gone on an appointment with, you're trying to go on an appointment with, the low-hanging fruit, those are the people you need to be in touch with every single day, whether that's phone calls, whether that's text messages, direct conversation, not just an email drip campaign or any of these automated things that aren't personalized, but direct personalized communication every day or maybe every other day at the very least for the low-hanging fruit. Now, a lot of clients are going to fall into that low-hanging fruit where they're not ready right this second, but they might be ready in the next 3 months, 4 months, the next 6 months. Those are the people that you want to be contacting weekly, staying in touch with weekly. And you've got to have these different reasons of contacting them, but we're focusing right now on that low-hanging fruit, the people that are right now needing to buy a home. So the first thing you've got to do is find these people needing to buy a home. And that's what I want to touch on after this next quick commercial break. So stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Do Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate, where this week we're talking about your first 90 days. And, we've talked about kind of the importance of filling your pipeline. That's really the moral of the story. If you've taken anything away from this first half hour of today's show, it's making sure you have a full pipeline. Not only of past clients, because past clients, they just get stuck right in at the end of your pipeline. They're the furthest out from doing business with again, 5 to 7 years if you want to go by the National Association of Realtors average of how often it is that they're going to move and buy a new home. So 5 to 7 years, they're way down at the end of our funnel. But as we move closer to our funnel, that's where we have our low-hanging fruit stocked up right at the beginning of our funnel. Then we have our people that are kind of, wanting to buy real estate, but they're not ready right at this moment. Those are kind of midway in our funnel, and then again, our past clients and the people furthest down the road, our acquaintances, our sphere of influence, those are the people furthest down. And it's important to have these all in your pipeline, because when you have clients in your pipeline, you're constantly tending to them. Now, the people at the beginning of your pipeline, those are the ones that you're giving the most attention to. As you go further down in the pipeline, the people that kind of, midway, that they're future clients, but not too far in the future, you're giving them more interaction as well, but not as much as the low-hanging fruit, as the people ready to go right now. And then the people that are furthest down in the pipeline, they're the furthest out from buying or selling a home, those people who are still staying in touch with, you're still tending this line, but you're contacting them the least out of all these here. So as they become more likely to purchase, more likely to sell their home, more likely to be ready, that's where you're speeding up this process. You're contacting them more. You're giving them more personalized attention. You're still giving some personalized attention to these people that are in the earlier stages where they're not ready yet. They're not right at that low-hanging fruit stage, but you're still staying in touch with them. You're making sure it is that they don't forget with you. Maybe using more automated methods, the email drip campaigns, the direct mail still is a great tool to use. Even though there's a lot cheaper, more economical ways to advertise them, it's still a great route to stay in touch with your very far in the future clients, as well as trying to add people to this pipeline as well. So you've got to understand the flow kind of this pipeline. And to kind of make this more than just, I know we don't usually do this here on State of Real Estate, but I want to bring out the whiteboard here just so you can kind of get an understanding of what it is that we're dealing with. So again, we've got our kind of, our pipeline here, our funnel basically. These are the low-hanging fruits down here. These are the people ready to come out of the pipeline, ready to make us money. So we need to get them to that point. We need to get people to this point where they're the low-hanging fruit. Now, these are the people that are ready now, and these are the people that we need to give the most attention to, the most interaction with, the most personalization to. But if we just keep a funnel of low-hanging fruit, the people it is that we're working with now to find homes, we're doing great today, but we don't have a great tomorrow. So you also need to be constantly filling this funnel with we'll call them median height fruit. If this is the low-hanging fruit, this is our median height. This is the people that are, maybe 6 months out, That's not an exact number, but the people that are, they're thinking about buying or selling their home, but they're not ready right now. And then finally, we have our highest degree of people here, of where this is probably most people are going to fall. And you could segment this further. This is really just for illustrative purposes, just so you kind of get the idea of what it is that we're referring to here. These are the people that are going to be 1 year plus. Because if you've got somebody that doesn't want to buy for 1 year, you're not going to get them closed in 90 days. I don't care how good of a salesperson you are. I don't care how it is that you are at closing or whatever the case may be, whatever sales skills it is that you have. You might be able to speed this up a little bit, but that's ultimately still going to be a lengthy period of time. Same thing goes with these 6-month people. You're maybe a little bit more likely to get them closer to being ready right now, but it's the people that are ready right now, that are right there, the next in line in this pipeline it is that we have. These are the people it is that you need to be focusing around and making sure that they're getting the most of your attention. Again, don't forget about these people, because these are going to be what makes sure that you have a constant flow of business. So you need to be constantly stocking this here. So as you're meeting people, you're talking about real estate, and literally everywhere it is that you meet people, you have an opportunity to talk about real estate. There's this cheesy post that I saw the other day that was on our page that somebody had posted here about going to Starbucks and setting up a little table tent. And personally, I wouldn't go to Starbucks and set up a table tent that says I sell real estate, but that would get you some business. Now, I'd have some other ways that I'd meet people there. I probably wouldn't just sit there and wait for people to come to me. I'd probably be a little bit more aggressive about striking up conversations, going to talk about with people. But look, whatever works with your personality, that's what's so great about real estate, is there's so many different ways it is to interact with people, so many different ways to market your business, so many different ways to work with clients. So, if you want to set up the sign wherever it is that you go, I guarantee you will get business. That'll work. Like I said, that might not be your particular style. That wouldn't be my style. But, I thought about it. I'm like, it's not a bad idea. It's not a dumb idea. It's not something I would like to do. And like I said, that fits my style. But if I wanted to wait around for people to come to me, and I'm willing to sit there at the Starbucks for a couple hours to see if anyone shows up and asks me about real estate, I probably would get a couple people, especially if it's a busy Starbucks or whatever that may be. Maybe you find out that doesn't work and you've got to tweak that. But the key thing is that you've got to try these things out. But again, if we're focusing on our first 90 days, we've got to focus on these people right here. Because remember, if it's going to take 60 days to go through the closing process, that means you've got 30 days left to try to find a client and get them under contract. So that means showing a lot of homes. And not just that one client. You don't want to ever rely on just one client. You don't want to ever have just one client down here at the bottom of this pipeline. You want to have as many clients as that you could handle. As many clients as you could show properties to concurrently. As many clients as you could devote time to while not losing clients because they're not getting enough time and attention from you. And that's what you need to be always focusing on. Now, just like you might want to set up at a coffee shop a little sign, or however it is that you go about finding business constantly, whenever it is that you're interacting with other people, these are potential home buyers, these are potential home sellers, and look, even if they're renters, this is an opportunity for you to help them rent a property, because you can get paid a pretty good commission depending on what that developer is offering, especially a lot of these new development apartment complexes, a lot of them that are going on in downtown, you could still get a decent paycheck from that. But again, when you're gasping for air when you first got your license, when you first have the license and you're ready to go out there, you don't want to neglect them, you don't want to forget about them, but again, you do want to make sure that you have not lost focus on what's most important, and that's the people, activities that are closing clients right this second. Those are things that are going to help support this process and help support the rest of this funnel. But once they get down to here, your goal is getting them out to see houses, or if it's on the seller side, let's say it's on the seller side, on the listing side, your goal is getting there in the property and getting that property marketed, but really getting that property, that listing under contract and getting it out there marketed. That's what you need to be doing. Again, the business cards and all the other stuff, that's all okay, but that's after you've got enough clients to get some deals closed. And what I want to do with the last couple minutes that we have here on the show is break this down into what the numbers are. We're going to walk through some numbers here. We'll go through an example situation. Let's say we want to get 3 deals closed in our first 90 days. And you might say that's impossible. I say it is possible, and we'll walk through the numbers. It might seem a little bit difficult, and it's definitely going to be ambitious. It's an ambitious goal to have 3 deals closed in the first 90 days, but completely possible. I've seen new agents do it. We're going to break down the numbers of what it is that you need to be doing, who you need to be contacting, and so on and so forth. But first, we're going to take a quick commercial break, so stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate, where we're talking about closing deals in your first 90 days. And we've talked a lot about the theoretical leading up to this point in the show. But I want to break this down now actually to the numbers of... So remember, we're focusing on these low-hanging fruit people right now that are ready to buy right now. And I say ready to buy and not ready to sell because the sellers, once you have a property listed, you're going to be looking at probably 60 days, maybe 30 days. But there's a lot of properties, if they're priced right, that are going under contract within a week right now, especially in the Tampa Bay area. But then again, now you're going through that closing process where it's tacking 60 days on top of that. So especially right now, because we do have a very aggressive seller's market, it necessarily wouldn't be always bad to take on a listing, but if you do, you've got to make sure that you've priced it right. You do definitely want to start taking on listings, but we're going to focus just on the buyer side. We might, if we have time, run through some seller scenarios here and see what these numbers look like for attacking sellers. But let's say that we want to get 3 closings. So 3 closings in our first 90 days. If that's our goal, to get 3 closings, what do we have to do now? And we know we've got 30 days, that first 30 days to try to line up these 3 closings, to get enough properties under contract to make this all work out. And let's say, and these are things it is that you want to track in your business. And we talked about this back on Wednesday on Ask the Instructor. We were basically going through and breaking down this whole business rhythm. And what it kind of equates to is you get a lead, you take that lead on an appointment, you then turn that into a contract, and then that goes to closing. So get a lead, get an appointment, get a contract, get a closing. Those are basically the 4 steps of this sales process that we're working people through. So it sounds overall simple, and it is. It's a little bit oversimplified because, again, there's going to be little things it is that you do in each one of these steps. But remember, you got to keep in mind the big picture. Get a lead, get an appointment, get a contract, get a closing. That's the process it is that you're moving these people through. So when you're looking for that little bit of direction, you pretty much already know what it is. Lead, appointment, contract, closing. So let's say that not all properties close, because they don't. we're going to just pick some numbers here. Again, you'll want to figure this for your business. You might want to go a little bit more conservative than the numbers we're going to use here. Again, depending on how much it is that you've been training before these first 90 days or how much trainings it is that you're doing. But let's say that 5 of our contracts are going to end up closing. Or 3 of our contracts are going to end up closing, but we get 5 contracts. We first start off with 5 contracts. That results us now in 3 closings. And what you do, and this is something we talked about calculating back on Wednesday, was figuring now what's your closing percentage. So if we take 3, divide that by 5, we end up with 60%. So what that tells us basically is 60% of our contracts are going to close. And this is what helps make your business predictable down the road. But yeah, we'll just say we'll pick that number. A little bit more than half of our deals closing, which means that almost half of our deals could fall through. 2 of our 5 deals can fall through, and we'd still end up with our 3 closings. But now, what is it going to take to get 5 contracts? So remembering that process now, lead to appointment to contract to closing. So what becomes right before a contract is, well, you've got to take these people out to see the properties. You've got to take them out to see this. If you don't have appointments, you're not going to have any contracts. You're not going to be having any closings. So you need to get out there going on appointments, showing properties, if we're talking about buyers here. And let's say that, so to get 5 contracts, let's say that, and again, you want to tally this up in your business, but let's say we had to go on 30 appointments. Which again, if we're trying to do this within 30 days, within 1 month, that's just saying we've got to do 1 appointment a day. So it might sound like a lot, 30 appointments, and that is a lot of appointments, but it's only just 1 a day if we're talking about this being over the period of a month. And so let's say it takes 30 appointments. Maybe your number's more than that, maybe your number's less than that. Maybe it takes you 60 appointments, which again, it sounds like a lot, but hey, that's 2 a day if we're figuring every day during our first 30 days of trying to get a deal under contract. And just to do the math on here, just to show you at what percentage that is, that means that, so if we take 5 contracts and we divide that out by our 30 appointments, and that's how you do this math, you take this number divided by that number there, that means we only need about 17%. Put this one also in red here. So 17% of our appointments to contracts. I mean, that sounds doable. That says for basically 1 in 5 appointments, you end up with a contract. If you're doing a good job qualifying, talking to these people, finding out if they are really serious, if they are really that low-hanging fruit. If not, you're pushing them down further into your funnel where you don't give them as much personalized attention. But the people that are ready to buy right now, within about 5, maybe 6 appointments, you should be able to get a deal closed. And that's basically almost what that works out to there. It's about 5 to 6 appointments, and you've got a contract. And if they are serious about buying, shouldn't really take much more than that. You might even be able to get them closed in less appointments than that. It depends, and it depends if you've got them qualified well, and also if they are serious about purchasing at that given moment. But yeah, once you've done that, this isn't outlandish. And again, adjust these numbers to your business as you start to track this and find it out. These numbers are just here to kind of give you that thing of, okay, this is what I need to be doing every day. You should be on an appointment every single day, at least 1 appointment. If you're not getting 1 appointment a day, you're not on track to get 3 closings. And you might say, this is where you want to be careful and don't fall victim to this. You might say, well, John, I don't care if I have 3 closings, I just want to get 1 closing. That's fine if you just want 1 closing, but set the goal as 1 closing. Stick to the goals it is that you set and continue to try to push towards and achieve those goals, because as soon as you start giving yourself some slack, you'll start taking more slack. That's kind of how we are as people. You get a little bit of slack, you get pushed in one direction, you get pushed in easing back on your goals, and now all of a sudden, you can ease back on other things as well. But if you stay hard-nosed going towards this goal it is that you've set, even if you know that it is that maybe you go through the first week and you only have 3 appointments. You might be inclined to say, oh, well, I only had 3 appointments instead of 7 this week, so I'll probably only end up with 1 closing. But, I'm happy I'm just closing 1 property. That's good that you're closing 1 property, but don't drop that goal. Don't drop that target. Because if you do, now you're just doing 3. You're saying, oh, I could get away with 3 appointments a week instead of doing 7 a week. And now, all of a sudden, you only do 2 appointments in the week. And then you're only doing 1 appointment in the week, and all of a sudden now you get no closings because you're not doing any appointments at all. So stick to the goals and targets it is that you set out. You need to be doing an appointment every day. If you miss an appointment one day, you need to do one appointment twice a day. And look, maybe you want to have weekends off. Maybe you just want to work 5 days a week. Okay, now we take these 30 appointments, and now we're going to calculate this out across 20 days. And basically you see that you have to be doing more than one appointment if you want to take the days off. So it's okay to have a day off where you're not doing an appointment, but that means the days you are doing an appointment, you have to have more than one appointment, which, I mean, you would think, being a busy real estate person, you're not going to just show one client one property that one day and call it quits. No, you're going to have multiple appointments, showing multiple clients, multiple properties. So you want to get those appointments in. And that's your minimum. It's fine to go above and beyond this because that's just pushing yourself further. Who knows? Maybe you end up with 5 closings because you're really pushing yourself to make sure you've got as many appointments as possible, but don't drop below the targets it is that you've set. So 30 appointments. And that might sound intimidating. Okay, your first 30 days, 30 appointments. You're really going to go through the immersion method of kind of submerging yourself in real estate, and you're going to get very good at it very quickly doing this many appointments. You're going to learn a lot of things in this period as well. So again, it'll be uncomfortable, but this is a growing and a learning process. But now, we don't just wake up in the morning and have an appointment. No, we need leads, and we need to turn these leads now into appointments. So not only are you going to be going on one appointment a day if we're working every day for 30 days, so not only one appointment a day, but now we need to talk about what it is that you need to do to get to those 30 appointments. How many people is it that you need to be talking to a day to get to those 30 appointments? And not just appointments with anyone, because again, we want to be targeting that low-hanging fruit. We want to target the people it is that are ready to purchase right now. So that means we might talk to people that are interested in using real estate services of ours, but they're not ready right this moment, right this second. And this is going to depend on how it is that you're finding these leads. Now, if you're brand new, get out there and go knock on doors. Pick up the phone and do some cold calls. Do these types of things to try to find the people, because this is where you're most likely to find people that are the low-hanging fruit that are ready right now. Sure, you could market online, you could set up a website, set up a landing page, set up a property search on your website, and all this stuff it is that you could do, but that's not going to give you low-hanging fruit immediately. It could, but this is a much more long-term process. And it gets frustrating when you're going 60, 90, 120, 180. If you're going 6 months without earning any money, without closing any deals, it makes you say, oh, this must not work. No, it does work, but this is just people that are further down in the pipeline that aren't necessarily ready right now. Look, maybe you've got some money to spend. Maybe you want to drop a couple $1,000s on Zillow ads if you don't want to go knock on doors and pick up the phone. You've got that option as well. Maybe you want to hold some open houses and you're going to try to get these people that are looking to at this open house to go look at other properties with you as well. That's a great place to find new clients. Open houses are huge. We did a whole State of Real Estate episode on open houses and how to maximize them to get clients that are going to look to purchase other properties. You're very unlikely to sell the house it is that you're holding open. It does happen, but it is unlikely. But you're very likely to find somebody looking to buy a house. That's why they're coming in the first place. Probably majority of the people are people that are looking to buy a house, and if not looking to buy a house, they're maybe thinking about selling their house, the nosy neighbors that we've talked about before on the show. But we've got to look at what it is that we're doing and how many people it is that we need to talk to in order to get these 30 appointments. And let's say that 25% of the people it is that we're going to be talking to ends up being an appointment. What that would equate out to would be 120. And if we take 30 and divide that out by 120, we end up with a 25% appointment rate. And these 120 people, these are 120 leads. So 120 leads. We have 120 leads, 25% of them turn into 30 appointments. Those 30 appointments turn into 5 contracts, which turn into 3 closings. And now you might say, how am I going to get 120 leads? You go to Zillow, you call up Zillow, and you ask them, hey, how much for 120 leads in a month? And it's going to be expensive. Maybe you make that part of your plan to get leads, maybe you've got a huge budget and you could afford to buy 120 leads from Zillow because that's a pretty quick, easy process. But then maybe you've got to rely on some other things. Let's say maybe you are going to be Zillow. I like to knock on Zillow, but they've actually got a platform where you could give them money and they give you leads. They're maybe not the best leads. They're maybe not all perfect leads, but maybe let's say that you're able to budget with them and you want to advertise with Zillow because again, I've done it before. It does work. It's not my favorite way to market, but it does work, and it's a quick, easy method that takes your lack of knowledge about how to market your business and the time also out of the equation. So it absolutely does work. But let's say you can only count on that for, let's say 20. So we're breaking this down. So we're figuring we're going to get 20 leads from Zillow. And let's figure that, so that leaves us with 100 more it is that we have to obtain. And let's say that we're going to be doing an open house every weekend in this first 30 days. So every weekend we're doing an open house, and we'll figure that out of each one of these open houses, let's say that we get 4 leads. Not the most ambitious. Hopefully your open houses are going to generate more leads than this, but if you're doing a decent job of getting the word out that you're holding an open house, let's say that each one of these open houses, we'll say 5 leads, so we stick with round numbers here. So we've got 5 leads we're going to do at each open house that we're planning on getting from each open house. So 5 leads for 4 open houses ends up getting 20 leads from open houses. Okay, so we've got 20 from Zillow, we've got 20 from open houses. We need to get 120. We've got 40 accounted for so far. We still need to come up with 80 leads. This is where you start to get these deficits, because if we only have 40 leads, let's run through these numbers now. We'll do this one here in green. Let's run through these numbers, and let's say that we only get 40 leads. Well, if we've got 40 leads and 25% of those turn into appointments, so 40 leads will give us 10 appointments instead of 30, so you can see how we're going to fall short here. And if 17% of those are going to turn into contracts, we're going to have 1.7 contracts. Hopefully, we'll end up still with 1 closing with all this here, because again, 60% of our contracts we're figuring are going to close. So this is what happens. You start to fall short in obtaining the leads, because 120 leads, if we're breaking this down across the number of days it is that you have, you need to be trying to get what's that, about 4 leads a day. 4 leads a day, at least 1 appointment a day, which will then get you 5 contracts, which will get you 3 closings. This is absolutely possible. A lot of agents, they're not even trying to get 40 leads, trying to get just 1 lead a day. So let's say if we're going to be on the less ambitious side, and these numbers aren't perfect here, this is just rough mental math of this here, but about 40 leads, giving us 10 appointments, giving us 1.7 contracts, giving us 1 closing. So if you're just trying to close 1 deal in your first 90 days, I would say, hey, try to get 40 leads. Get 1 lead a day, a little bit more than 1 lead a day, and you should be able to get 1 closing in the next 90 days. So from the date it is that you start. And now the key thing is you don't go through these 30 days and now you're changing jobs. You're no longer the lead prospector and you're now just worried about trying to close deals. No, you're constantly still doing this even as these closing deals are going on. You have to constantly be filling your pipeline with new business. So 40 leads, maybe 1 closing. 80 leads, maybe 2 closings. 120 leads, okay, now we're talking about you're looking at closing 3 properties. And if you close 3 properties in the first 90 days, that's going to put you on track for a $100,000 a year if your average home sale price is about $280,000 based on that math it is that we did Wednesday on Ask the Instructor. So, but again, if we're trying to cram this in now in the 30 days, because this is where we've got the odds against us, where we've got the time, where if we just start building our pipeline right there on day 1 it is that we have a license, we're not looking until getting these closings until probably about 90 days out, 30 days to get them under contract, and then another 60 days for the contracts to close. So this will, like I said, really help you understand this process here. And let's go back to, let's talk about a couple other ways before, because I know we only got a couple minutes left here, but what other ways can we account for these other 80 leads? We only have got 40 accounted for here. Well, let's say that we're going to go door knocking. This is another thing. We've done math before on door knocking. We've done a whole episode on door knocking, on things it is you should say and do and so on and so forth. But let's say we're going to count on getting 40 leads from door knocking. And you might have to knock on 400 doors to get 40 leads. I mean, you've got to keep track of your ratio of how many leads it is that you're going to get when you knock on doors. Maybe you've got to knock on 1,000 doors in your first 30 days. Make sure you've got some comfortable shoes on for doing that stuff. But this does work. So now we still have got to count for more leads. And let's say that we're going to do some cold calling. And the cold calling, a little bit less effective than door knocking, but it takes time out of the equation because you could just pick up the phone and call as opposed to going around knocking on doors. You've got to walk between all the houses, and even if you pick up a phone and no one answers, click, do a new dial. Whereas if you go knock on a door, no one answers, you go to the next door, and that takes you maybe 30 seconds to maybe a minute if you're a slow walker to get over to that next door. So that takes longer time. But let's say that we're also going to do some cold calling as well, and that accounts for our other 40 leads. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you want to do some other things, or maybe you want to have a little bit of extra leads so you can still end up getting those 3 closings in these 90 days here. And the way that we're setting this up here, this will actually set you up for a lot better than if you continuously do this, you're going to end up getting a lot higher than just $100,000 in closings here, in commissions. Because if we do this math on this here and we break this down, so if we've got 3 closings across these first 90 days, the next month, if we're still doing these same activities, we're setting ourselves up for another 3 closings the following month. So let's say we started in January here. So we've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and we'll stick December up here. So we ran out of room. So January, no closings. February, no closings. That's our first 60 days. Then this next 90 days, we've got 3 closings, and then 3 closings. And then if we continue doing what it is that we're doing and setting up our next month, we've got 3 closings. We've got 3 closings. We've got 3 closings. We've got 3 closings. 3 closings. 3 closings, and 3 closings. So you're basically getting 3 closings a month for every month except for the first 2 months it is that you're starting with this model. So if this does seem like a lot it is that you're doing, it is, and it'll make it so you're accounting for these 2 months it is you have here with no closings going on because you're just getting started and you're just getting the feel of things. But if you maintain that momentum, I mean, we've got 10 months here with 3 closings a month. That's 30 closings. Let's do some of that math we did the other day here on this and figure out how much money this would set us up for the year on here, because this is exciting. I like where this is going here. So let's say we've got 30 closings. Let's say our average home price is $300,000. So we take our average home price of $300,000, we multiply it by a 3% commission, we end up with $9,000. Gross commission, $9,000 times 30, $270,000. So if we're closing 3 $300,000 homes a month, that ends up getting us almost $250,000. And that allows us for these first 2 months to do really a whole lot of nothing. Now, like I said, and maybe you're only getting 40 leads, because getting 120 leads, that's a lot of leads to kind of bring in. It's kind of expensive if you're buying the leads and time consuming if you're getting these leads yourself. But let's say you only got the 1 lead. That gets you 10 closings. And if we got 10 closings, let's do that same math now. Take that $9,000 commission and take it and multiply it out by 10 closings. So 9,000 times 10, $90,000. Not as good as $270,000, but even if we fall short on this and we only end up getting 1 closing a month for these 10 months, because the first 2 months we're assuming we're prospecting, getting a business, getting the wheels going and closing these first couple of deals. But you can see how this really starts to pick up if you maintain this momentum. And so even at that one of just getting a little over 1 lead a day, we'll say 2 leads a day, 2 leads a day, you're probably going to end up closer to 150,000, something like that. But the great part about this math is because your business may be different, you might have to use these different numbers. We've got a great business plan calculator on our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, where you could use these numbers. You can go through, do these calculations here, figure out for your business. Don't spend too much time playing around with the calculations and thinking about how much money it is you can make. Go out there and actually work towards making that money. Go out there and actually get on appointments, get yourself some contracts, and get yourselves some closings. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. Again, if you're looking to start your real estate career, make sure you give us a call. Phone number is below, 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com. All I've got for you guys this week. I will see you Wednesday for Ask the Instructor. Until then, get out there and go get yourself some business.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.